Hi everyone, Ann and I are back today to make some Halloween cards like we always do to send to my mom and my aunt. And so today we're going to do an interactive card. And so let's get started. And we are going to use these dies from a company called Fawn, and this is called a Peek-a-boo Pop Up die set, and it's got some little pieces that make things move around on your card. We're going to create a kind of spooky background on this card, and I want to have a moon shape. So in order to create a mask, I'm going to use this low tack tape that I love, that I use as transfer tape, but it does not stick down much. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a piece on my die cut board and just run that through my die cut machine. Now, when I take that off, then I will have the outside of the circle, and I'm going to go ahead and set that here because we're actually going to use that part too. And I'll show you that in just a bit. And then we're going to take up our circle very carefully. Now we're going to kind of figure out where we want our moon to sit. We're going to have a top panel, so I'm just going to use this to kind of give me a gauge, and we're going to have a little front scene and some bats, and I've got my scores here and I don't want it to sit there, so I think I'm going to bring my moon right about there. Okay, all right, and so I'm putting that down on my paper so that it blocks that out. And I'm going to go around it to make sure it's really well stuck down. Okay, now I'm going to bring in some Distress Oxide ink, and Ann and I are going to work on creating an interesting background sky. So I'm going to start with the pink, and I'm going to show you how to do it, Ann, and then you're going to do it. We're going to get a lot of good ink on there, and then we're just going to come around that thing and get that color down. And some of the Distress Oxides, the color just goes down easily, and some of them it's a lot lighter, but you just work with it. And I've got these waffle flower blending brushes, and so to make sure the colors don't overlap, I just make sure I always use just pinks with this brush and like that. So Ann, I want you to be careful so you don't get your fingers in this, but you're going to keep going. So hold it down, and so dab onto the ink and then keep going around the moon like I've been doing, and just get that color on there. Very good. So we're going to work our way out. We're going to go from pink, and then we're going to go out into our purple and then into black, so that we end up looking, so it looks like there's brightness around that moon. One of the things I like about Distress Oxide ink is that they're very blendable. You have to figure out where to put your fingers to hold the paper down.
I got it.
Oh, thank you, Ann. That's very helpful. There. Okay, are we good? Should we go to the black? Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a really fine glitter powder, because while this is wet, it will actually hold a little bit of this. And do you want to dip in and just put some powder in there?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. Ooh, that's a lot, but some of it will shake off, so that's okay. And get some up here too. Up here. Good. Now what I'm going to do is just now shake that off, and I'm going to try to make that kind of go across the card. Okay, we've got some, it looks a little bit like fog. Now we can go ahead and clean this up. Do you need to get the glitter off your fingers?
No.
Okay, let's let that dry first while we get other things done. And so what we want to do is create a nice little pumpkin scene, like a little pumpkin patch. So what color of paper should we start with to create the pumpkin patch?
Tack.
Okay, let's use black in the background. We might want to have maybe a blue sky behind. Ooh, what about that? Or
I'm thinking purple.
this one's purple. Okay.
I don't want blue. I want purple.
Okay, let's see if we can find some purple.
Yeah, because blue
Oh,
is
I so
not.
agree.
Yeah, blue
You
is
are
not
so
my
right.
color.
Okay, so do we want to do the same color? Look, here's another color of purple.
Okay.
Oh,
will
I
do
like
that.
this one. This one is more Halloween purple.
There you go.
Oh, let's compare.
I want to do that.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So let's lay them side by side. What we want to do is create a background. And Anne and I we subscribe to a Stamp of the Month club. I'm not sure I'm liking that as much as I thought, because we do tend to get things I probably wouldn't thought of getting. And so it's fun because we get to try things, but I don't know how often I'll use them. But this is one of the things we got free with our Stamp of the Month club. This is from Hero Arts. And I thought this old scraggly tree would look really fun as part of the background. So let's get out our Misti. So let's put your purple in here, and then let's see how we would like this tree. I want a scary tree in our background. So do you want your tree here, here?
I want it in the middle.
Let's put it off to the middle a little, because we're going to have pumpkins in here. And the bottom of this will probably be hidden by pumpkins. So I think that would be okay. Okay, let's do this and get the spooky tree stamped down. Okay, so you're going to do this. So let's get our black and go ahead and dab it on it like this. You're going to do it.
Me?
Yeah. And do all over so the whole tree has black on it. That's good. And in fact, we don't necessarily have to do this, the trunk, because it will probably be covered. Let's see. Let me get a little more. Okay. Close her up. Stamp her down. Okay. Oh, let's do it once more and get a little bit more ink on those branches. See how we're missing some spots. Okay, open it up. That's better. I like that. Let's stamp mine. And then we can take a look and see.
Okay. Can I do yours now?
Yep. Just kind of move that around and get it all over, even down here. Okay, in case it shows. All right, now set that here. Set it to the side. There you go. Okay, open it. And one thing I want you to notice about the Misti is, even though we went over the edge here, it's not stamping here. And I love the Misti. It makes it so that Anne does a great job of stamping, and me too, and we don't have very many mistakes.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay, and open. Good. And now we are going to clean this up. And we clean up. We don't take off the stamp until we clean it. And then if we clean it before we take it off the Misti, it's just a lot easier because the Misti holds it down.
I want mine.
Yeah.
I want mine to say love.
Okay. No, these are Halloween. So we're going to say something like spooky or happy Halloween or something like that. Do you want a jack-o'-lantern or a regular pumpkin? You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is actually get some of these cut out of paper, and we'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back on and show you how we're assembling our cards. Now we are going to create a scene. We did make a little pumpkin for Anne that we used that the mini thanks die set and stamp, and we cut this out with a die, and then we stamped it using our Misti so that she has a nice little pumpkin. So let's move our backgrounds out for just a minute, and let's just create our scene right here. So Anne's going to go ahead and glue down her pumpkin, and then we've got some stickers and other things that we are going to be using to create our scene. So go ahead and put the glue on the back of that. Do you remember how to do that?
I don't know.
Remember, you're going to just be really light, not push too hard.
Now I'm gonna do this.
Oh, the ghost. Okay.
Can I put it right here?
Yes. Onto there. Okay. Okay. Shall we glue yours down onto the card?
Can I do it though?
Yep.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, but even it up. Oh, okay. Well, it's a little crooked, but that'll be okay. All righty. Look how well you centered that. Very good. Okay. There. Those are done. Okay, now we need to, and if you'll stay to the end, I will show you my favorite Halloween card that I've been making for years, and I just keep remaking the same design, and very simple, very straightforward. So there's those two. Let's go back and finish this card. So Anne is tired of making cards, so I'm going to just finish this one up and show you the special mechanism. So let's take off that mask and look at the beautiful moon shape, that look that we have. That glitter is staying on and creating that nice kind of foggy look. And so what we want to do now is, this back is dry, so now I'm going to put down my mask again, just center that around there. And now I'm going to bring some color into that moon. I'm going to use just a bit of yellow and I'm going to bring the pink back in. So first I'm going to just do very lightly, just some yellow, some bits of yellow, nothing very heavy. And I'm going to kind of stay on the outside and leave the inside a little lighter. And that's it. And then just the slightest bit of pink in some places just to give some variety and definition there. So then when we take that off, you can see that brightness. It looks like it kind of starts there. I don't know if you can see it on camera very well, but you've got that yellow and then it goes out to the other colors. I'm going to use a die to kind of offset and create what looks like maybe a cloud line. And then I'm also going to use the die in this peekaboo set and create a ground line. And so I'll get those done off camera and be right back. Okay, so let me show you what we've made. I've used this smaller square die from the peekaboo set, and I just went ahead and cut some papers. This is going to go on the back of our card and be for where we write our sentiment. I went ahead and cut out the mechanism that's going to make this an interactive card where things are happening. I went ahead and cut our cloud line, and we're going to be putting that so that the scores are on the opposite side of these scores. And then I went ahead and created a baseline. So that's all the cutting out that I did. And now let's get this assembled. So what I'm going to do is just along this bottom, I've got these little, I don't know, die cuts that look a little bit like trees and twigs, and I wish I had a nice spooky tree die, but I don't. And so this is, how you just use what you've got. And I'm going to place these in here just to create these shadows. Make sure you don't lay anything right over the top of your score lines. We want to keep at least this part free of the score lines, and I kind of want that to go over into the shape of the moon. A little black cat. I'm going to take the bow off because I don't want the cute, and I've got just the face of a black cat that I want to just be right there in the middle. Now that we're done, I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines, and I'm going to make sure that I fold it and score on the side that doesn't have the ink, because for one thing, I don't want to get it on my bone folder, and I don't want to mess up the ink. Okay, now you're going to start to see how this is going to come together. I am going to put glue on this side only, on this flap, and I'm going to position that so that it lines up with that bottom. And I'm going to put just that flap down and just make sure it's all lined up with the rest of it. Hold that for a second. Get that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put the glue on the flap, line it up, and make sure that it's just right in position to go across the top of my card. So the rest of the flap is open, and we want to leave that flap open, because then we're going to put in this little mechanism that will bring the surprise into our card. With that peekaboo die set, there are these little parts that are kind of strange looking, but they create the mechanism that makes it so that we can have an element of peekaboo in this card. We can have something that peeks out. And so there are score lines in there, and it's a little tricky to see, particularly on black, but you're going to fold those in on the score line, score it well, and then the other one folds in. And so what you're doing is kind of creating a little triangle like this. And this is going to lay on here so that the flat side is up against this score line. So you see how I'm just laying that right on there? And we are going to put glue only here. Now I'm going to use a repositionable glue because sometimes I get this going the wrong way. So I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to close this up, my score over, and test it. See how that flips down? So now that I know I've got it in the right place, I can add my glue that's really going to hold it. because remember I used just repositionable tape just to make sure it's working right. But now I can put it down with my glue. Once we've got that, and we know it's working, and we see it is, then we can come back over and just put glue here and glue that down to match up with the opposite side of the card, just like that. So it lays flat across and you can't see that trick mechanism inside. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Glue it down. So just to finish up, I have a little bat stamp. I'm going to use some gray. I'm going to stamp some background bats here. I'm just going to use my a deep purple, and then I'm just going to stamp that. And there is our finished interactive card with the pop down feature. Let's take a look at our finished ones, and then I'll show you the other one that I have made pretty much every year. And you'll notice that they all have a sort of a purple theme. So we have our two cards, very simple, that we just created a background scene with a tree and this front, and then added our embellishments to that. We have our interactive So Spooky card. And this is a design that I have used over and over and over, and it's one of my favorites. And so it's just pretty straightforward, some layering of cards, a little stamped pumpkin with some glitter on it, and the little ribbon. So easy, but one of my favorite cards, and I have used that over and over and over. So I hope you liked these cards. I hope that you'll enjoy making some Halloween or holiday cards of your own. And of course, you can adapt these to any holiday and any person. And so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.